and his career is over. It's like that.
Wow.
Dang, just speaking.
Wow. He just
You've
dropped the
been gloom
bomb-ass
and doom on
album.
the brothers all night. I
Dropped the
don't even know.
bomb-ass album that got a little rub. But go ahead, Jay.
What I'm looking at, it seems like a lot of performative theatrics. Man, I like people have talked about it, whether it's related to her album release, whether she's trying to get some clout, some attention. People have said that Offset is holding up because he wants the clout and the attention. And when I zoom out, I'm asking myself, am I seeing something new? And I say, maybe not, man. I mean, I'm not from Atlanta, but y'all tell me, people who there, how crazy is it that a rapper and a stripper get together? Right. And then, she does the mommy thing. She's happy. She's settled down. Right. But he's like, dang, I did marry a stripper. Right. And she, so then he's out there moving like he moves. Right. Then she's like, oh, two could play that game. Right. And so now she's back on her game. And yes, dude, she's a stripper. She's better at her game than you are. Right? Because she was playing her game longer. Matter of fact, honestly, you met her on her game. What the ladies have been telling y'all who've been watching this episode up till now is every woman you're dealing with, bruh, you met her on her game. Okay? That's how you met her. So game on, nigga, catch the ball. It's your turn. Moving on from that. Okay? Moving on from that. I think what the brother is saying is he's put in his time, and as he departs, he wants to make sure that the part that he played, he's properly compensated. You know what I'm saying? He's taking emotion out of the situation now and dealing with it as a business move. Business wise, this looks like a good way for him to fund whatever his next step is. If, in fact, as Crystal is saying, his career is over, it's time to pivot. I say hats off, sir. Look like you're doing well. Matter of fact, more than hats off to you, sir. I feel like it's a night of history makers, right? First, we have the young man who went in half on the rent and kept on paying even though the relationship was spent. And now we have a man who not only married a stripper successfully, banged a stripper successfully, but is going to get her to pay when the relationship is over. Sir, I salute you. You are one of a kind. You are a gem in America. You do your thing, sir. I'm
So I want to say this real quickly. I want to make a correction, Crystal. When I was saying she was playing both roles, I was talking about after the fact. A lot of times women want to try to be men after the breakup, right? I'm going to do what he did. And then there's a part of them that's still women and they end up making bad choices because of it, like certain things. So that's what I was talking about, the both roles, not during the actual relationship. But also Jay touched on something because oftentimes when women get cheated on, I think sometimes they feel like, why did he cheat on me? Was I not enough? And we never consider whether or not the answer to that question is yes, that is why I cheated on you, right? Like, we don't do that, right? Now, when Jay said something in regards to her being a stripper, right? The idea of turning a hoe into a housewife comes to mind, for example, right? So I wonder where does that weave in between how he saw her and also how she saw herself in that relationship, right? And I actually talk about that. But the point I also want to make too is this reverse psychology about, oh, he's a bitch ass. We've heard the whole sassy. I'm sorry, ladies. That is so 2024. Y'all might need to come up with new tactics because it's not really landing the way, right, that you think it's landing. Why? Right? Because the person who is in that situation knows more about their situations, has way more to risk in that situation. And if it was you, whether you're a male or female, most people are going to do the smart thing. Like, y'all be expecting people to be all chivalrous or stand on what? What principles y'all think people should be standing on? If the nigga is owed money from being in a relationship with the stripper, right, and having kids with her, then he deserves to be able to walk away with whatever money that the law, the courts, say that he deserves. Y'all lean on the fucking courts all the goddamn time, and now it's bitch made? Well, guess what? When y'all do it, it's bitch made too. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, a lot of times when y'all do it, it do be on some bitch made shit. So y'all, of course, can identify the behavior. Why? Because you can imagine logic actually applies to it. Because when y'all do it, it do be made out of the fire of you being a bitch about what the fuck happened in the relationship. But when a man's doing it and he could be logical about it, he got to be bitch made. Yeah, let's play.
So let's go ahead and do this really quickly then.
Yeah.
First of all, I appreciate you acknowledging that he was bitch made. I also appreciate you acknowledging, because that's what you just did. You just acknowledged that he was bitch made. And you just acknowledged that bitch made to include females. When we do that, you're basically saying we did earn what we did during that marriage, is what I also heard, because you said that he got what he earned for being with this stripper. So that means the women also earned for being whatever that nigga or that guy or that man that they was with, because they earned that too. So I appreciate the fact that you just talked about how everybody earned the right to get paid in that marriage. So I appreciate that. You know what else I appreciate? I appreciate the fact that you also talked about how she was a stripper and maybe it was her. You know why I appreciate that fact? Because we just had Nick Cannon admit the fact that he had 12 babies was a trauma response. So maybe the fact that Future couldn't stop cheating, oh, my fault, not Future, Offset, they so closely related sometimes when it comes to the wholeness and bitchness that I get confused a little bit. But maybe, just maybe, Offset is having a trauma response too. What could his trauma be? Could he feel like a little man because he was insecure that she's the bigger star? So he had to fill a hole to make himself feel better? Probably so.